welcome everybody to another edition of How to Beat Your Addiction and Live a Quality Life with John Giordano. I'm Scott Jones, and we want to thank everybody for joining us once again. I don't know what episode we're on, number 9, number 10, number 11. We're up there somewhere, but this is starting to go pretty good, right, John?
It's getting really good feedback. A lot of people are looking at it now, and I think they're starting to understand that we really want to help you. And, you don't have to agree with everything we say, but at least listen and see where it takes you.
I don't agree with half the things I say myself.
I don't even remember what
I said. We might joke around a little bit, but this is serious business. We're dealing with people with addiction problems, mental health problems, and everything else. And now more than ever, I don't want to keep talking about COVID because we do it all the time, but just over to 2020 and going into 2021, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to need help, John. And I think that they need to have options on what they're going to do, don't they?
Absolutely. They just came out with a report. I know we don't want to talk too much about COVID, but exosomes. Now, we were talking, I think we spoke about that last session.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, exosomes are these little bubbles that come off the cell wall of a stem cell. They're RNA messengers. In other words, they carry instructions to the next cell. And what they're finding out that it's keeping people off of ventilators.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's really cool.
That is cool. I mean, there's vaccines that are coming out all the time.
And there's a lot of stuff. And then hyperbarics, they're finding out, are working much better than being intubated.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff coming down the pike. And today's show, we're going to be talking about things that you can do that are a holistic or alternative or whatever you want to call it, for depression, for anxiety, for addiction, and different ways of treating things other than the standard medical procedure. Our medical system is based on treating something after it's broken. Okay, well, what I like to talk about is how to treat it before it's broken. And this goes for everyone. They're not just addicts and alcohol, just human beings.
Yeah.
And what we need to look at is the way we eat. Diet is key, and I was just actually talking to myself about changing my diet even further than I already have, going more into raw vegetables, juicing, things like that, and which the energy that you get from the food is what makes us healthy, and going organic. Some people say, well, I don't have enough money to go organic. But then there's a lot of these, what do you call these farm things that they have?
Co-ops?
Yeah, co-ops that they have. Check it around, look on the internet, and where these people come in that they grow food and they bring in and people buy food there. That's organic, and it's a lot cheaper than going to Whole Foods or one of those other places. But what we need to understand is what we ingest is what causes us to have illnesses. When your diet's out of whack, your microbiome, your gut, your flora in your gut, gets out of balance. And most of us don't eat right, at all. And that's really, really key. Taking nutrients is important, all right? But you have to also eat well. I mean, because you're counterbalancing it, It's like when I used to use drugs, I would hit the heavy bag and I was smoking a cigarette. So, they're opposing. And what happens is it doesn't work for you. And some people that take nutrients, you have to make sure it's a GMP lab, number one. That's an independent laboratory that looks at what's in the compound that you're ingesting. Multivitamins and amino acids and things like that. So it's a third party that oversees it because nutrients, they're not regulated. They're a food. So you have to be careful what you're taking because a lot of people make a lot of claims that are baloney. So that's important. There's so many things that we could do to help ourselves, It's like going into addiction, for instance, different types of detoxes that we can do. Okay? Now, what people call a detox program, that people go to a detox center, they're stabilizing people. They're not detoxing them. They're putting toxins in. They get rid of the toxins.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
what are we doing? You know, they use Suboxone. And now, what is Suboxone? It's buprenorphine and naloxone. They put naloxone in there so people don't shoot it up. But what we found out through some research that we did with Dr. Blum, the geneticist who found the addiction gene, and a team of scientists from about 25 universities, that Suboxone, what happens is after a while, okay, it blunts dopamine and where you walk around like a drone. And then when you try to get off it, it's very difficult to get off. Remember, the pharmaceuticals companies make money from us. We're walking cash registers. And what you need to understand is, look, does Suboxone work for all people? No. It works for some people, maybe, okay? And there's a small, narrow group that need to do that, like Vivitrol and methadone and Suboxone, that are chronic relapses that don't change right away. Those are the people that possibly need to be on that, okay? But if they go to therapy, if they eat right, if they take nutrients, eventually they can get off that. Now, it's very difficult to get off methadone and very difficult to get off Suboxone. Extremely difficult. And what we did a research project on people that are prone to severe depression and anxiety. When they're trying to come off Suboxone, they commit suicide. And that was kind of sad to see and hear.
Well, it's a lot like coming down off of heroin. I mean, it's not a whole lot different, is it?
No, it's a lot different. Believe it or not, it's a lot different. The molecule of Suboxone attaches to the neurotransmitters differently than heroin.
Right.
Okay. They use similar receptor sites, but what happens is that the withdrawal from Suboxone is very severe. Much more severe, believe it or not, than heroin.
More severe than heroin.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And, there's a lot of alternative treatments that you can use to detox. People use nutraceutical IVs. They use, some people use ibogaine. Okay. And what is ibogaine? Ibogaine is a bush from West Africa that they use for a rite of passage, that they found out that it actually detoxes people and it helps them with cravings, where it works from anywhere from 30 to 120 days, depending on if you're a fast metabolizer or a slow metabolizer. Now, it has to be done in a medical setting. If it's not done in a medical setting, I wouldn't do it. And it's not done in this country, unfortunately. Now, I work with Dr. Deborah Mash at the University of Miami School of Medicine, and there's a lot of research on this stuff. We've treated hundreds of people. Now, it's not a magic pill. It's not a cure. Okay, it's a detox protocol. Okay, some people get confused. They think it's a panacea or a magic pill. It's not. Okay, what it is, it's an interrupter. It's a reset, a neural reset in your brain. Now, you have to go to treatment, or you have to go to therapy, you have to go to self-help groups, and you got to talk, and you got to get all this behavioral stuff, okay, out of the way. So that's one thing. Now, unfortunately, with Ibogaine, they have some underground people that mean well, but they're not doing it well. And, supposedly people have died from Ibogaine, and that's questionable also because they had other ailments. When people come in to detox, they're really depleted from neurotransmitters are like down in the gutter. Their whole body's out of whack because of the food that they ate or didn't eat. So they're very health-wise compromised. So those people you have to be very careful with. You have to do a thorough investigation of, how they are physically, and also you can't use Ibogaine for people that are schizophrenic, or people like that, or people that have a dissociative disorders. And you just have to know what you're doing. I'll put it that way. And when we were on the island of St. Kitts with Dr. Mash, everything was done just like you were in an ER, actually. And these medicines, these plant medicines they're studying now, like psilocybin, it's very big now. They're studying about psilocybin, which is helping with depression and anxiety. And what is psilocybin? It's the mushrooms, okay? Ayahuasca. They're looking at ayahuasca also. Now, this is NIDA, the National Institute of Drug Addiction. Okay. NIDA is looking at all of these plant medicines, okay, to help with depression, anxiety, and addiction. So there's a lot of cool research coming down the pike, okay? And there's more research that's needed, but it's really interesting what's happening in the field of addiction and mental health. They're also looking at deficiencies in amino acids that are cause depression and anxiety. They're looking at the gut, what's causing when your gut's out of whack, how your body gets totally, your autoimmune diseases start showing up. You dopamine and serotonin is manufactured mostly in the gut, and if that's not working right, it doesn't go into the brain properly. It doesn't have enough. And you have these deficiencies that are causing all these other ailments. So we have to look at our body in a different way. It's not just for addicts, it's for all people. Our food supply sucks, in plain English. Have to be really careful and traverse through all the garbage, because our food system, a lot of our foods are depleted.
Mm-hmm.
The farmers are not rotating their soil, and putting different kinds of plants in there so they don't all deplete everything. The sprays that we're using on our crops are causing havoc. And look at the cancer. How much cancer we have today?
I know it's a lot.
I mean, it's through the ceiling. And what it is because people are looking at profit above common sense. And, the chemicals that we're ingesting and our air and all this stuff. And I don't want to sound like doom and gloom. There are alternatives. You can help yourself as best you can. All right. But you really, really have to work at it. You can't just sit back and say, oh, yeah, but everything's a mess. And, what am I supposed to eat? A broccoli every day? And, well, that's not a bad idea to eat broccoli. But, what kind of quality of life do you want to have? We supposedly can live to about 140 years old, quality-wise. I'm not talking about just like being a drone, okay, getting older and older. There's a lot of stuff with exosomes that just came out, like I was saying, for COVID, okay? And also, it's for arthritis, it's for inflammation, stem cells, it's going through the ceiling. Unfortunately, in our country, they prevent certain kinds of stem cells. Like I just came back from, I was in Nassau. University of Miami School of Medicine has been doing, what do you call it? A study on stem cells from young people. And they're putting those stem cells in older people. And so I went and I did these stem cells. I am now 12. No. But anyway, I feel great. My body feels great. And I also do exosomes. Now, look, this stuff is expensive right now. It's not for everyone. I understand that. Okay. Unfortunately, if you have money, you get better health care. That's a reality, right? But you can also take care of yourself when you don't have money. If you drink enough water, you exercise properly, okay? Build up that cardio, all right? Eat properly, take nutrients. You can live a healthy lifestyle. Who the heck wants to get older and you have diabetes, you have high blood pressure, you have arthritis, and your back hurts, your head hurts, and talking about back pain, we were talking about pain.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to talk about, John, is that, certainly there are a lot of alternative treatments for addiction in mental health. But how many times have you heard the story? Kid's having a great time. He's playing football or baseball. He gets hurt. He gets on some oxys or something like that for the pain. Next thing you know, he's hooked. He's off the team. He goes into full-blown addiction. I don't believe, and tell me what you think. I do not believe that pills in those kind of medications should be our first option when it comes to things like pain or anxiety or something. Shouldn't we try other things first?
Absolutely.
And what kind of things would they be?
Well, let's look at things that we can do to prevent a lot of these injuries.
Okay, that's a good way to start.
Such as stretching. You need to stretch the parts of your body. Your back, your legs, your arms.
So the yawn I do in the morning isn't enough?
Yeah. No.
I need more than that?
No, well, you can't stretch your arm with coffee.
Okay.
No, I stretch every day, okay, because when your muscles get tighter, and because of gravity also, you're more prone to injuries.
Yeah.
You see? So stretching is really, really important.
And it's easy to find routines in stretching, on the internet.
Just go on the internet.
You don't have to pay a gym to do that. You can learn that in home.
And you do it nice and easy, you slowly, you don't force anything. Okay? There's also meditation. Okay? Now meditation has been around for thousands of years.
What does it have to do with the physical body? You have to draw that line for me.
Well, that's real simple stuff.
Okay.
When you center your body and your mind together, okay, and calm it down, it changes the way the chemicals in your body function. And remember, what is pain anyway? These are messengers that telling you, oh, this is happening, that's happening. When you calm yourself down, all right, and you start to turn inward, you can actually help with your pain if you're having pain. Okay, well, that's what I do. Look, I have 2 hip replacements from doing karate for 56 years. All right, and I had to stay on top of all my stuff because my body got really wreaked havoc on my body because of the martial arts and fighting and things like that. And, I'm 74. I don't take any medications. I do everything I'm telling you to do. And, but sleep is paramount also, okay, to help your body your body heals during sleep. Okay, so does your mind, because stress also causes your body to tense up. Your body tenses up. It also can cause pain. So the things that you can do for pain is something called SPM. You can give it a shot. Okay, it's similar to omega-3s. Okay, and also omega-3s are really good for depression. All right. Now, if you're looking for a quick fix, it ain't happening. It took time to get to where you are. It takes time to heal. Okay, so with pain, you have to understand that pain is also partially psychological. People that take oxys and all that stuff, they don't get totally rid of the pain. Okay, they still have pain. And the bottom line is, what happens is you say, well, I want to take the edge off. I want to take the edge off. Well, listen, you got to go to what's driving it. You can't just keep taking the edge off, because then that's how you become addicted. And that's how you walk around and you create more problems. Okay, there's such a thing called broccoli light. Broccoli light is a nutrient made from broccoli that actually also can diminish your pain. There's acupuncture you could do that also can diminish your pain. There's massage that also can diminish your pain. And what does massage do? Well, it relaxes the muscles and the tendons around the inflamed area. Now, we talked about inflammation, and what a lot of times the pain's caused by inflammation. So you want to diminish your inflammation, and you have to be really careful with all that stuff. So there's so much stuff you can do. Look it up on the internet, how to diminish inflammation. There's a whole bunch of things that you can find if you want to find it. It's like looking for a good drug dealer. All right, you do your research, right? You ask around, Well, now we're going to ask around about how to help you, with your health. And if you tell a doctor you're in pain, they're going to give you 30 days of oxycodone, all right, and
Yeah.
cause you more problems.
It doesn't help anything, really. I mean, it might mask or dull the pain, but it doesn't change the problem. These
No.
other things are about fixing the problems, which is good.
Look up Life Wave. Okay, Life Wave is, let me explain Life Wave. These are these patches that you put on your body, all right, and they work with energy. I know it sounds a little airy-fairy, but it's true. I use it. I have one patch on right now. And it works on the electrical system, let's put it that way, in your body. And what it does is it helps with pain. There's no chemicals that go in your body. There's nothing. It works with crystals. I know it sounds crazy, but look, going to the moon sounded crazy too. Us thinking about going to Mars also sounded crazy, but look where we are today.
Absolutely.
So, there are things that you can do and look at, and that's what I do. I research, I study. I want to know how to better my life. I want to know how to have a quality life, and I want to be able to help my clients and guide them. A lot of times people they're short on amino acids, and that causes other problems, okay? A lot of times people are low on testosterone, right? That can cause other problems like depression and anxiety. People don't get a real good physical. They need to check their thyroid. They need to check if they have leaky gut syndrome or H. pylori. Those are all gut issues that cause depression and anxiety. You first have to get a basis for where you're moving from. You have to learn about what's going on with me so I can fix that before it creates more problems. You don't always want to fix things after they're broken. You want to fix things before they break.
Or when you first start to recognize that I might be heading down this path, you want to do something about it. Certainly. Don't wait until it comes and bites you in the ass and is really a problem. You mentioned something, and I want to bring us back to that for a moment, because I think a lot of people have this problem with sleep. I'm one of those people that I will go through periods of insomnia. It usually lasts 2 or 3 days where I don't sleep very well. Then I fall back into my patterns. I don't run off and start taking all sorts of medications and all that. I basically just, okay, this tells me that I've got to watch my caffeine during the day, and I do other things, and I make sure that I'm active enough so that I can sleep well at night. So I do a little thing. But, what can you suggest for people to do if they're not sleeping well, or they have a long pattern of not sleeping well?
I've been having a hard time sleeping because my mind, I can't turn it off. So some of the things that I do.
It's a 12-year-old mind that just keeps going. It's all about girls, right?
Doesn't want to stop. No, I don't tell my wife that now.
No.
But what you can, first of all, make sure the room is dark when you go.
That's important. A lot of people leave their TVs on and do those kind of things.
What happens is if you're stimulating your mind with television prior to sleep, okay, it's more difficult to get to sleep. You might be, people say, well, I only have 2 cups of coffee a day. Well, you might be hypersensitive to caffeine. Caffeine is a drug, and that can also cause you not to sleep. There's things you could take like melatonin. You could take valerian root. There's products on the market that the lemon balm and different products like that may help you to go to sleep.
You should always try those natural alternatives first, the vitamins, aminos, minerals, and natural, before you go into the medications, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So what you got to take a look at is a couple hours before you go to sleep, you need to calm down, and you need to just relax. And when you go to bed, it's going to bed is not watching television. Now, we do that sometimes also, so I'm not going to sit here and say we don't. Okay, and I'm finding out that that's the nights I have less sleep, which is interesting. And the bottom line is, I'm working on those issues also like everybody else. So these are the things that I'm finding out, and these are the things that I'm working on, seeing which one works the best for me. And that's what you need to look at. None of us do stuff perfect. I mean, come on.
No.
Okay, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yes, I do everything, and I do. No, bullshit. Okay? I don't do enough sometimes. Sometimes I really got to look hard at what I'm doing and stop taking the easy way out, you know. And I do that sometimes, and then I catch myself and I go, "Wait a second, come on, John, snap out of this. All right, what's more important?" And so that goes for all of us. You guys got to realize that, yeah, it's difficult, but it's more difficult not to do this stuff because it causes so many other things to happen that interfere with your daily routine.
Right, right.
You know, you're tired, you're not functioning properly, you're not paying attention, you may be driving, and you get into an accident.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just what happens.
Now, John, when you're looking for alternatives, whether it's for preventative stuff or to help you with your relaxation or sleep or a real problem, we used to be able to look up terms like holistic and say, oh, there's some good alternative stuff under the holistic category. It's kind of been used in the wrong way by a lot of people at this point too, though. So when people are looking at something and somebody tells them it's holistic, what is your definition and what does that really mean?
That's a good question because, you see, people don't even know what the heck the term means. If you ask 10 people, you get 10 different answers.
Exactly.
If you go look it up, okay, what the word holistic means, it means comprehensive. It means holism. So in other words, your approach to your health is comprehensive. Total. Okay? And that's been around for a long time, and people get really confused about it. They think holistic is this airy-fairy stuff that's really baloney.
Chimes and chants, right?
Yeah. Look, there's a lot of garbage out there. Okay?
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff out there. And people say, well, how do I figure it out? You'll figure it out. Just look at studies they have, people that taking it, see what happens, and ask them if they're doing it. But what's really key is sleep, drinking a lot of water, exercise, eating properly. And what does that mean? Stay away from sugars as best you can. Stay away from processed food. Bad news. Okay? Look, I love bacon. And I'm not going to tell you I don't have it. Once in a while, on a blue moon, I might have a piece of
real bacon, not that turkey stuff, right?
No, real bacon.
Real bacon.
The turkey stuff is just garbage too. Okay, so there's nitrates in there. There's all kinds of stuff. And it's like committing harry-carry or suicide sometimes. Being an addict, I go, well, I just have a little piece. But I definitely don't make that a standard for myself.
Right.
And it's very occasional. Maybe once every couple of months or 2 or 3 months if I run across a piece.
Yeah.
You really have to be careful with nitrates. That's another cancer-causing processed meats and things like that. All these processed foods, they really cause havoc in the body. You have to use fresh foods, organic foods, and also take a walk and look at the sky and look at the plants and get back in nature again and feel the planet and just take a break from all this stuff that the television with the election and the riots and I got to do that myself because I get glued to the TV sometimes looking at all this nonsense that's going on in our country, and it's negative, man.
Yeah.
And it just being an addict, it sucks me in sometimes, and I gotta suck myself back out.
I like how you talk about going outside. That's important. Getting fresh air and doing those things. You've heard of the seasonal affect disorder where people, when they don't get enough sun or they're not outside enough, it causes depression and anxiety and all of that stuff. Hey, if you're living down here with us, we're in the Sunshine State. You should be getting sunshine a little bit every day.
Listen, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes the most. Get some sun. What's interesting? When you look at the comic book with Superman, the yellow sun gives him his
power,
his power, right? Well, that's interesting when you think about it, and I was thinking about that the other day. The sun actually gives you like that D3, that vitamin D that we need, and they found out that vitamin D and zinc, and vitamin C are the things that help fight COVID.
Yeah.
They're not talking about the things that fight COVID. They're only talking about getting COVID and what to do afterwards. How about before? If you build up your immune system, okay, by doing all the things that we talked about in this podcast, and also taking the proper nutrients, taking D3, vitamin C, okay, magnesium, all right, and then there's mushrooms. They call them cordyceps. These are immune boosters. And if you boost your immune system and you get exercise,
Yeah.
and you live a healthy lifestyle, if you do happen to catch this horrible disease, you may be just having like a common cold.
Yes.
But if you're overweight, and that's really important. Obesity is rampant in our country, and people don't realize that what that causes. It causes diabetes, it causes high blood pressure, it causes all of those. Those are the people that are vulnerable.
Yes.
I mean, look, if you're not going to take care of your body and your mind, who's going to?
It's a good point.
Simple, man. Okay? Look, these podcasts are to help you. Okay? I know it's hard to keep your attention. I know it's difficult to watch something for at least 30 minutes. Okay? But make like you're watching the news or you're watching some movie that you like that's entertaining you. Well, this may not be so much entertainment, but this is about how to live a quality life. So you make your choice. What do you want to do? All right? I think you're worth it. I know you're worth it. So take the time to listen to what we're saying. All right? See if you can apply it in your life. And if you're having difficulty, you can always call me. All right? You can go to my website also, John, the letter J, Giordano.com. Okay? And you can see some of the things and television shows and all the different things and some of the research and and you can always call me. My number's there. All right? I don't charge for a call. I want to help you. But that's up to you. Okay? Knowledge is great, like I said before, but without action, it's worthless. And that's what all of you have to start looking at. Look, Scott and I are doing these podcasts because we really believe that this information is very important to get out to people that just don't know what to do. And it's going to be up to you, all right, to put this stuff into action. I can't make you do that. Neither can Scott. Okay? All we can do is impart information. We're not asking you to believe us or not believe us. Give it a shot. It doesn't work, don't do it.
Yes, absolutely.
Simple.
Go out, do your research, try some different things. When the whole world has gone bananas and everything's out of control, you always will have control over your own health, your own mental state, and your own being by taking care of yourself. So, and if you have that and you're centered, then the whole world being out of control becomes much more manageable.
Well,
right?
We know what we're forgetting about.
We're
forgetting about spirituality.
Yeah.
Getting in touch with a God of your understanding. Getting outside of yourself. Okay? Listen, I believe God is in each one of us. Whatever you call God. That light, that energy. Whatever you want to call it. Okay? We have to get back in touch with that. To heal ourselves. There's that good energy inside of us that we need to develop, help to grow. Because there's a lot of darkness out there.
Yes, there is.
Okay? And you got to stay out of the darkness as best we can. I mean, we're surrounded with all this. Everywhere you turn, there's evil, there's darkness. But there's also good. It all depends which direction you want to look in. So, look. Share these podcasts with other people that you know. Put it on your feed if you believe it's worthwhile for them to listen to. You'll be helping the human race, okay, with podcasts like this. Not just this podcast, but other things that you might find that help people to grow spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. We need to be the light, not the darkness anymore. Okay.
I also want to mention, if you really like this podcast and you think you have something to contribute, you'd like to be a guest, go to johnjgiordano.com, and his email and his phone numbers there. Reach out to John and talk to him. Maybe you'll end up being a guest on the show at some point.
Yeah,
right?
we're going to start having
We're gonna have
guests
some guests.
in the next 2 weeks. Next week,
Yeah.
we're not doing a podcast. Scott's being out of town. And the following week, we're going to start having guests coming on, talking about different subject matters. And it's going to be exciting. I mean, listen, you'll get different points of view, different experts that'll be coming on. It's not just going to be just Scott and I. We want to expand our base and expand what we're talking about and give different points of view so you can, you have a variety of things that you can learn from. It's really, really important, I believe, to do that.
With that, I want to thank everybody for joining us right here on How to Beat Your Addiction, Live a Quality Life with John Giordano. Again, I'm Scott Jones. Please, if you like the show, share it with your friends. Like our YouTube channel, the ATC Network. Visit John's webpage at johnjgiordano.com and reach out to us with any questions or anything that you'd like to focus on. Maybe your topic will end up in a show coming up if you've got something that you think we should be talking about.
And also, there's 2 books that I have.
Oh, yeah.
The latest books. Okay. One is How to Beat Your Addictions and Live a Quality Life. It's on Amazon. That's How to Beat Your Addictions and Live a Quality Life. And the other one is my life story. Okay. The kid from the South Bronx who never gave up. It's all the trials and tribulations I went through as an addict and then going into recovery and how I turned $300 into $45 million, which sounds absurd, still sounds absurd to me, but that's what really happened. And I show you that as long as you never give up and follow your passions and follow your dreams and don't let anybody tell you that you can't, all right, you can be successful.
So make sure you check out those books. Again, you can check them out on Amazon or go right to the website, and the information on how to get them is there. I don't have any books, but if you send me some money, I'll come to your house and cook you dinner. How's that? With that, I want to thank everybody for joining us once again. We'll catch you next time right here on How to Beat Your Addiction.
Have a wonderful day.